Gay guy. Has a secret relationship with dad's friend. I tapped my foot nervously as I waited for the assistant to call my name. I needed to get feedback from Brad that I would send to my dad. That feedback would determine whether my father would put me in charge of the new project. I needed this to prove myself. I was not just here because I was my father's son. I was here because I was qualified and good at my job. Craig Tiller, you may go in, Mrs. Richard, the assistant, told me. I stood up, knocked on the door, and entered. He was sitting at the desk, typing furiously. His jaw was clenched, a sign that he was not happy. Close the door, he instructed. I complied and went to sit across from him. Sir, I came for my feedback, I said. Now, I told you to call me Brad, even at work. He looked up and smiled, mirth filling his eyes. Brad was my father's best friend of over 20 years. My dad was Albert Tiller, the tech millionaire. Brad was his best friend, whose company worked closely with ours. He stood up from his chair and approached me. He then put a hand on my chin and tilted it up. You have been a very bad boy, Craig, he mused. I sighed, getting lost in his dark eyes. The feedback? I started, but could not finish. He had leaned down, capturing my lips with his. The kiss was soft in the beginning, but I did not want soft. I tugged him closer toward me and kissed him harder. After a while, we backed away from each other. Sent it in an email to your dad. Your presentation was good. It just needed some tweaks. He leaned back on his desk. But you said that I needed to get here, I said. The nervousness had fallen away, giving way to slight annoyance that he made me worry for nothing. Oh, I just missed you. I haven't seen you all week. He chucked. It's Monday. You saw me on Saturday. I grinned, welcoming this distraction from work. 5 minutes later, I was making my way downstairs to my car on top of the clouds. Does one ever get used to the feeling of being in love? I sure could not. Yes, he was my dad's best friend, but he was also insanely hot. I had always had a crush on him. I never dreamt that he would return those feelings. I highly doubted that he was into guys. After all, he used to be married but got divorced 3 years ago. One night, I got an invitation to a queer-friendly masquerade party from my friend. Janice was getting tired of me moping around because of being so single, so I decided to take a chance. That was how I ended up with someone with a leopard mask on. A lot happened that night. We talked and danced and even kissed. I wanted to bring him back to my place. I was not really thinking with my head. All I cared about was how he made me feel. We went to the car, so I could drive us home. I do not drink or do substances. I just did not like the effect they could have on someone. The only thing I got high on was endorphins. When I got to my place, we decided to take our masks off. Imagine how I felt when I found out that my father's best friend was the man that I had been kissing all night. Oh no, it cannot be. You are into men? He had asked. He could not even look me in the eyes. Please do not tell my father about this, I begged. Trust me, I will not be saying anything to him about this. He chuckled. He then started to put his shirt back on. You know, I've always had a crush on you, I confessed. Now I had nothing to lose. He could do anything he wanted with the information. He made the right choice. Hence, we started seeing each other more. We were attracted to each other, but it was not just physical. He loved how I could match him intellectually. After all, I was a big nerd when it came to technology. We decided to keep our relationship a secret. To explain any meetings between us, he offered to mentor me. My father was more than happy about it. We started to develop stronger feelings for each other as time passed. It was natural and beautiful, but we had to keep it secret. 2 nights later, Brad, come upstairs? This gala is dull me. Here I was thinking that you were actually interested in all of these galas. Brad, how funny. I am in the study. Me, send me your location. I miss you a lot. Blue matches with your eyes. That was the first thing he said to me. I blushed. I could not get used to this. It felt like a dream. Thank you. One of our marketing associates picked it for me, I told him. Why was she picking your clothes? He asked. Is that jealousy I sense? I teased. She just so happened to be in the office when I showed my dad the options, I explained to him. She has a good eye, he said. Stop trying to distract me. You know what I want to know, I said to him. I moved closer to him. The doctor said I just need more sleep and vitamins. He laughed it off. Days before his hands had started trembling, and he dropped his work tablet. He was experiencing tremors. He said he did not want me to worry about it. If you say so. I had nothing else to hang on to but believe him. Let me show you how much I miss you. I smiled and pulled him closer. The next morning, my eyes took a while to adjust to the light. Just then, I panicked. Why was it light when I had to be up at 6 a.m.? Next to me, the bed was empty. Why did he not wake me up? I noticed a missed call notification from an unknown number, and then there was a knock on the door. I went to open it and found a young woman standing there. She looked quite familiar. Coffee? We need to talk. Violet entered my house. I was groggy and confused, so I did not protest much. I am glad that you took my advice. Blue suits you. I was worried about you when you did not show up at work today, but I figured you must have slept late. She turned to look at my unmade bed. Brad is old, but seems like he still has it, she said, as she made herself at home on my couch. I started coughing as the coffee went down the wrong pipe. What are you talking about? I asked. Check your phone, she said. I checked my phone, and I found a video of Brad and me kissing the night of the gala. The 1,000 ways in which I was screwed went through my mind. It would be a PR nightmare, right? She beamed. Are you blackmailing me? I asked. I am not blackmailing you. You are actually a good kid. Compared to your sister who treats me like I do not exist, I would hate for this to get out. She looked at me with a very serious expression. What do you want? I asked her. I found myself pacing up and down the room as I realized the mess I was in. I could hardly focus on her words. Are you listening? Or do you want me to leak the video? Social media would have a field day with you. She shook her head. I nodded for her to go ahead. As I was saying, the head of marketing position still has not been filled. I am very good at my job and have been with the company longer than the people they are interviewing. I want the position now. Oh, and I want you to buy me anything that I want. I know you have the money, she said. I was pissed off. The audacity she was showing was insane. Buzz off. I will not let you blackmail me, I said. Your lives will be ruined. I will make sure of that. She got off the couch, dusted some imaginary dust from her shoulder, and smiled again. Think about it. I give you till the end of the day. She left her coffee on my table and sashayed out. I was grinding my teeth out in anger. I took the rest of the day off as I weighed my options. Brad and I had a lot to lose if this got out. It was better for me to play along till I found a way to deal with her. She was playing with fire by daring to blackmail me. As I thought about her, I realized that she had been around me a lot that week. Maybe she saw one of our messages and put 2 and 2 together. Or it was just luck that she caught us in the study. At the end of the day, I told her that the position was hers. I just needed to talk to my father. 2 weeks later. You have no idea what I had to do to make sure that you got that position, I said. I know, and thank you. She squealed and tried to come in for a hug, which I successfully dodged. By the way, your shoes should be at your house by the end of the day. Anything else you want me to get for you? I asked. I am having a celebration with my friends at the most exclusive club. I need you to get us on VIP and foot the bill, she said. Consider it done, I said. She flipped her newly done hair over her shoulder and said nothing else. Fine then. Leave before Brad finds you here, I told her. Being in her presence a second longer was going to kill me. She flashed me one more smile before she literally skipped to the door. Her mood was so elevated that day, thanks to my money. I hoped she was enjoying it while it lasted. I was planning on telling my dad soon. My parents were the most important people in my life. They knew everything about me except this. If they did not accept me, it was fine. But I needed to Brad a head start about it. I knew that this was going to impact him more than me. "Why did I just bump into a chick leaving your apartment?" Brad asked as soon as he opened the door. "Stylist. Anyway, I have made the popcorn. Our movie awaits." I smiled as I tried to get the thought of Violet out of his mind. "Oh, cool. I brought your favorite candy." He smiled as he came to embrace me. 3 days later, "Sir, your father's friend is here to see you," the receptionist said over the phone. I smiled as I allowed her to bring him up. Well, guess this was an early start to my weekend. I quickly organized the clutter on my desk and fixed my hair. I counted down the minutes it would take him to reach my office. He barged in rather fast and went to sit across from me. He did not look happy. Instead, he was giving me a death stare. "If you are going to use someone as a beard, does it have to be someone so money-hungry?" he asked. "What do you mean?" I couldn't help but give a confused laugh in return. "Or maybe you are actually in love with her since she seems to be your stylist. Did you think I would not recognize her?" He raised an eyebrow. "Oh no, it's not like that." I stopped and weighed in my options. In the end, I realized this was the best time to reveal everything to him. I cleared my throat and leaned against the nearest table. "The truth is that she has a video of us kissing at the gala, Brad. She has been blackmailing me. I did not want to tell you because you already have a lot on your plate," I explained. He looked shocked, surprised, overwhelmed, and worried all at the same time. "I am so sorry for doubting you, baby. But what the hell do you mean she has a video of us?" "I only love you, not her." I consoled him and then shook my head. "She took a video of us, and I am still not sure how, but I will find a way to get her off our case. I promise, Brad." He shook his head. No, baby. You let me handle it. I can make some calls and get her a job far away from us," he suggested. Just then, the door barged open. My dad came charging in, grabbed Brad by the collar, and dragged him off the chair. He then punched him out of the blue. I stood up, alarmed at what had just happened. I asked my dad what he was doing, and he told me to shut up. "When were you planning on telling me that you are sleeping with my son?" He glared at Brad. All the color had left Brad's face. It was clear that he was terrified. I went up to my dad and tried to get his hand off Brad. "Enough. Do not touch me. I had to hear about this through you calling me by accident." "What the hell? Do you know what such a scandal can do to our company?" he whispered, yelled. I went to the door and made sure it was shut. Too many people knew about us already. I was not about to add to the list. My dad had let go of Brad, and they were having a silent conversation with their eyes. I just stood there and tried to make out what they were saying. "Leave. I need to talk to my son," he said. Brad simply nodded and left. We locked eyes before he left. "Pack whatever you need. You are going home to Chelsea. Let us see what she makes of this," he said after looking at me for a while. "You cannot involve Mom in this, Dad. She already has her work cut out for her planning the year-end gala. She is your mother, and she needs to know. You have already made a mess of it by getting caught by Violet. Now it makes sense why you recommended her so much to me. It did not make sense why you threatened to give away your project if I did not make her the marketing head." He mused. We drove to my parents' house in silence. I wondered what my mother was going to say. My mother was kind, patient, and empathetic. She was also the person I was scared of disappointing the most. She always asked me when I was getting married everything I saw her. She assumed I was straight and could not wait for me to give her grandkids. I did not want to disappoint her. It would kill me if she were to shun me because of my sexuality. But I had no choice than to follow along with my dad. When we got there, he told me to sit in the living room with my sister while he talked to Mom. I would explain myself later. I breathed a sigh of relief like the coward that I was. It was better for him to break the news than for me. "So, how has the golden boy messed up now?" My sister suddenly spoke. I jumped, having not seen her from behind me. "Leave me alone," I said. It must have been something big. Dad was furious and did not even respond to my greeting. She chuckled gleefully. Just quit it. Now is not the time. She was super annoying, and I could not deal with her. Oh, I know what happened. Dad found out about your peasant girlfriend. She laughed. You do not know what you are talking about, I told her. Word around town is that you are dating. How else would she have access to all of your privileges? She asked. She works hard and is a trusted staff member, I said. Just then, I heard shouting from my parents' room. I stood up to try and go there, but she stopped me. You need to take me to this party I got invited to. Please? She begged. I have to talk to Mom about something, I told her. She then started texting on her phone. A while later, she showed me that Mom had agreed for me to take her out. Why can you not drive yourself? I asked. Suspended license. She shrugged. Of course. She was 19 and a nuisance. But she was my sister, and I would rather I was with her to keep an eye on her. The next day, wake up sleepyhead. My mom's gentle voice woke me up. I was an extremely light sleeper. She started opening up all the windows in my old room. She then gestured to the food she had placed on my coffee table. The scent of her homemade waffles made my tummy growl. Have some food, and then we need to have a serious talk, she said. My stomach nodded as I remembered what happened yesterday. I still did not know how she felt about the relationship. I quickly gobbled up the food while she went around my room tidying up. Done, I announced as I cleaned the plate. I missed my mom's cooking. Good. First, thanks for getting your sister out of the house. Brad ended up showing up and your father was not happy, she told me. Oh no. Did Dad do anything? I asked. No, but before we get into that, I wanted to ask why you never told me you were gay, she asked. I thought you would not accept me, I answered. You are my son. I love you no matter what. Deep down I suspected it, but I did not want to assume. So, Brad. She raised an eyebrow. I know the age difference is insane, but he makes me happy, I said. As long as he treats you well, I have no problem with it. Your father is coming around as well, but it will take some time, she said. He is not going to disown me? I asked. I have to be honest. He considered it, but I talked him out of it, she hurriedly added. I hugged her and cried tears of joy. Things were not perfect, but it was not too bad. By the way, Violet is not going to be working with you anymore. She has no choice but to resign and keep her mouth shut. Did you threaten her? I asked. No. I convinced your father to give her some hush money. You do not have to come out to the world unless you are ready. She smiled. Thanks, Mom. I came out to my sister last night. She was actually supportive for once, I said. She can be a headache, but she still loves you. Mom smiled. A week later, the woman who had just brought me papers that needed signing kept on staring at me. It was strange. I had checked myself in the mirror millions of times, and I looked fine. I had no idea why people were giving me weird looks. Is that all? I asked her, because she kept glancing back at me. It was making me uncomfortable. One more step, and she was going to hit the door. Sir, I have a question, she said. She turned red and looked away. She then looked at me again. This was incredibly weird and a waste of both of our time. I was chasing a huge deadline. Anytime this year, please? I said. Is it true you are dating Mr. Tiller's best friend? She asked. Where did you get that from? Not fucking again. I was sure that Violet must have gossiped about me before she left. Have you not read the tabloids? She asked. I shook my head. She walked back to me and showed me her phone. I read the article she was showing me. I felt sick to my stomach as I realized that someone had leaked the story to the press. Thanks for showing me this, I said. Is it true? She asked. Please, return to your work. Those documents I just signed are time-sensitive. She nodded and then left my office. When I left the office this time, I noticed that everyone was whispering. I had a neutral facial expression when I made my way to my dad's office. I knocked, and he shouted that he was busy. I opened the door despite that. His being busy never applied to me because I was his son. He was on the phone with someone. and he did not look happy. His other phone was ringing non-stop. After a while, he hung up. That little rat Violet is not going to work in this city ever again if I have anything to do with it, he seethed. Clearly, the news had gotten to him too. I decided to take the rest of the day off. I decided to spend it with Brad. My dad was in crisis mode and told me to just keep out of sight. I knew that the whole thing was going to ruin us. I wondered what choice he would make to save the company. I had a feeling that he was going to distance himself from me just to save the company's face. If he did that, I would understand. Over the next days, I worked from home, and so did Brad. It was actually kind of nice to be in our own little cocoon, away from the rest of the world. My dad was still solving the crisis and would not respond to my emails. A few days before the year-end gala, my mother came to visit us. She told us that my father had made a decision. It was a decision that shocked us, but we accepted it. It was his company, and he knew what was in its best interest. 2 days later. Do you think that my tie is too funky? I cannot for the life of me figure out why everyone is staring at me, Brad said. He made me snort with laughter. All of them shifted at my sudden change in demeanor. A second ago, I had been uneasy under the scrutiny of all these people. I wished that we had skipped the year-end event, but my mother would not have it. Everyone was staring at us and looking at us like we were aliens. Why are they even here? Have they not done enough? It is so creepy. He is so much older than Craig. I bet this a publicity stunt. Those were the few words that I caught. Clearly, we were not welcome here. It was just a few people who dared to say all that. I guess they found strength in numbers. I am so glad you made it. My father's voice boomed over the chattering. He then came straight to me and hugged me. His hug was so warm and reassuring. Someone, get them refreshments, he exclaimed as he went to greet Brad. I breathed out a sigh of relief. What sort of example are you setting? Someone suddenly said. It was an older man who was looking at me in disgust. You are not talking about my son now, are you, David? Who he loves is none of anyone's business as long as he is happy. You want to talk about examples? What about your son? How many schools did he get expelled from this year? My dad asked, and everyone gasped. Albert, that is enough. Surely you need to understand that none of this makes sense. Would you mind checking your calendar, Eileen? Surely you must know we are not stuck in the dark ages. We are here for business and charity, and not to discuss my son's love life, my mother said sternly. Eileen zipped her mouth and took another drink. 2 hours later. I will be back soon. I just need to do something, but it was so nice talking to you. I smiled at one of my dad's investors. He was one of the only two of them who were not hostile toward me. The rest were avoiding me like the plague. I really needed to use the bathroom. The punch was getting to me. I also needed to find Brad and remind him to take his meds. He was feeling much better now that he was taking medication for exhaustion. Our mini break from working helped as well. I quickly found the bathroom in the venue with no difficulty at all. As I was there, I got on the phone with my sister. She was telling me to tell Mom and Dad that she could not make it to the gala. She was stuck in traffic before she even got far. An accident had happened. While in the bathroom, I thought I heard a noise. It was like rummaging. I asked if anyone was in there, but there was no response. I figured that I was losing my mind. I probably had one too many drinks. I ended my call with my sister. Just then, I noticed Brad had been trying to call me. As I was about to call him back, my phone battery died. I decided to go back to my car and plug it in. As soon as I opened the door, I realized that the room had become misty. I opened the door and heard screaming. It was not screams of joy, but blood-curdling screams. I heard someone screaming that there was a fire. I was not familiar with the layout of the venue. I decided to take the stairs down, hoping they would take me to an exit. Minutes passed with no exit in sight. The panic was getting to me until I heard Brad's voice. I was so relieved to find him. He had been looking for me for minutes. Somehow, a fire started and it was spreading. There were still people trapped in there because the exit was blocked. He said that he found an exit down here. He needed me to wait outside while he escorted the people down. but I told him that I could help by looking at other exits. So we did just that. He used that exit while I found another one. It was by the kitchen. I followed the voices where people were screaming. So much adrenaline was coursing through my veins as I helped lead some of the people out. I had led 3 people out when the fire department took over. I reunited with Brad as we watched them save the people left in there. Unfortunately, there was a casualty of 2 people. The entire venue was razed to the ground and multiple people suffered smoke inhalation. I made sure to find my mom and dad to make sure that they were safe. As I was hugging them, I heard screeching in the distance. When I looked, I saw a very familiar face, Violet, wearing all black. I got closer to her, just in time to hear the chef say, "My assistant chef saw her running away just after she ignited the fire. She appeared to have a can of something on her, and she looked suspicious. He ran after her and caught her," he said. A staff member said she had seen her lurking around the venue earlier that day, the event manager said. "Violet, why would you do this? We told you to leave us alone," I said. I was so angry with her that I could not contain myself. In my anger, I expected her to give me the same old excuse about how she couldn't get over how she lost her chance in the company, but when she spoke up, it was some new bullcrap. "Because you never noticed me," she began, her eyes wet and passionate. "You do not even remember me from college. I once asked you out and you said no," she screamed. I was dumbfounded. What the hell was she blabbering about? I did not remember her from college. Hell, I didn't even know we had ever interacted before meeting at the company. "I do not even remember you. Come on, you did not just endanger our lives because of a stupid college crush?" "It is not stupid, I love you, and I wish you had tried harder to get to know me." It was not a joke. It made the situation even more absurd. "What the hell is wrong with you?" But she didn't look like she was listening to me. As the guys dragged her away, she started blabbering again. "Why, Brad? I could have become your wife. You could have tried for me." She practically whined. The situation and her reasons were so absurd that I couldn't help but roll my eyes. I decided staying away from her was the best course of action. She was insane. I was glad that the cops arrested her. 2 days later. "These just came in for you," the receptionist said, adding to the mountain of gifts Brad and I had been getting over the past few days. My father's investors were among the people that we helped save, and they were grateful, even the homophobic ones. I was getting overwhelmed by all the gifts and affection. A simple thank you would have been enough. "Thank you so much." I smiled at her, and she left. Just then, I got a phone call from my boyfriend. I grinned and answered it. "Good to know that you are keeping the phone charged," he said. "Thanks for checking in, babe. So, how was your first day back at work?" I asked. "Pretty easy. I do have an insane amount of gifts, though. People are really grateful that we saved them," he said. "Well, at least now the attention isn't on us anymore. I was getting tired of it. That arsonist did not succeed in sabotaging us at all," I responded. "They should lock her away and throw away the key," he said. I agreed with him. She was insane, and we were going to make sure that she paid for it. I actually looked into her. She claimed I did not remember her. It is hard to remember her when she had so much work done. It had been a shock to me. The girl I remembered had been shy. I remembered her asking me to join her friends and her for a study session one time, but I was not available. She did not talk much during the time I knew her. Little did I know what was going on in her head. Damn, the things people do. Enough about her. Let me know what you want for dinner. I want to cook for you. It was obvious he was smiling into the phone. I cannot say no to a hot chef. I chuckled. Let me think. Conclusion. Craig and Brad continue to have a loving and healthy relationship. Violet is sentenced to 12 years in prison for arson. The end. What would you have done if you fell for your parents' friend? Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to become a part of our Rainbow Force and to stay wholesome.